Well, good morning and welcome to the Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show this morning. A beautiful Wednesday morning it is, and it's quite exciting because I have somebody back in studio joining me this morning, Madam Chambo.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How
So
are you?
excited to have you back.
Good good. It feels good to be back, and good morning to your viewers.
How's it been? Where have you been hiding?
You know, I've just been around.
Okay, great. Well, of course, like already mentioned, you're watching us from our ICU TV studios right here in Chalala off Shantumbu Road. And allow me to just say thank you to our producer this morning, Michelle Komfune, and also on our transmission desk, Madam Nyirongo. And of course, we will dive right into our headline pick this morning. And first of all, before we even dive into this topic, Madam Dam, what's on your mind?
What's on my mind? It's a beautiful Wednesday, Woman Crush Wednesday, and guess who's crashing on who? I am. Who's your Woman Crush Wednesday this morning? It's still early, but you know the day has already started.
Well, Mom.
Oh, shout out to Mom.
Mama, please,
Yeah.
you are my Woman Crush Wednesday for
Oh,
today.
cute.
Well, of course, now after hearing what is on Madam Chambo's line, let's dive right into the headline pick this morning. And the first headline that we have on the first story on the headline pick this morning is 259 arrested in Kalumbila mob killing case.
Day nabs 9 in widespread cannabis crackdown.
And of course, Dr. Lishimpi stresses emergency health preparedness at training workshop.
We have more details in our story pick just right after this break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. If you just joined us, this is the ICU TV Breakfast Show Wednesday edition, and now let's get into our story pick with more details. Police in Northwestern Province have arrested 259 suspects in connection with the mob killing of a woman in Kisasa area of Kalumbila district. The latest arrest brings the total number of suspects in custody to 276. Provincial Police Commissioner Bright Siwale confirmed the development during a press briefing in Solwezi, stating that the arrests were made as part of the ongoing police operation. He emphasized that investigations are still underway and warned members of the public against harboring individuals linked to the crime. Mr. Siwale further reviewed that security personnel have been deployed in the area, stressing that lawlessness will not be tolerated in the province. Meanwhile, the family of the deceased has appealed to law enforcement agencies to ensure that those involved in the attack are brought to justice. And now the family representative Enoch Kiembe said every individual who took part in the mob action must face the full force of the law. And Solwezi West Member of Parliament Nicholas Mukumbi has also assured the public that due process will be followed and justice will prevail.
I'm actually glad and happy now
that the police are doing we have a total number of 276. What started as low as 7.
So 7 people, 5 people, 7 people, and now we have 276 people,
and more are still getting arrested,
which is quite amazing because I feel like the cry of people has been heard now, because most people were complaining that certain actions or certain things like this are mostly just left hanging like that, but now we see the police taking action and having a total number of 207. That's a huge number.
It is.
And how they're tracking them down, being able to cut down all this, and it's not everybody that is within the same area, because we see some that had fled and have been brought to book, which is quite interesting. That's why they say you feel as if the police are not working, not until it's you they're looking for. And
when you're seeing them from a distance, they look like they're not working, but wait until it's you they're looking. Yeah.
Quite interesting, and it's so amazing, especially for the fact that it is sad looking at what they did to this woman, how that the remorse, the humanity in people just got cold and went off, and the fact that the police are taking action, I think this is quite a huge progress.
Yes, and this is very inhumane. Imagine you just feel like accusing someone of doing something, and the mob gets very angry because it's something that's on the ground and something that's going around, and one ends up losing their life, which is very sad. And I'm glad that the full force is being taken, and justice must surely prevail. Indeed. And always remember, mob injustice is injustice. Allow the law to take its course on the people.
Indeed. And another thing, the final thing that we get to learn from this is, let us not take action before, through just speculations. Let's get
the facts
to confirm the facts right. And of course, like she has already mentioned, this mob justice thing, I think, should be cut off. When you hear or you feel something has been done, the first thing you do, take that person to the proper, use the proper channel, take a person to the police and let them handle it, because they know how best to handle such cases, and not what we witnessed in this particular case. And of course, getting to our next story this morning, well, the Drug Enforcement Commission, DEC, has arrested 9 suspects in a series of operations targeting cannabis cultivation and trafficking across several provinces in Northwestern Province, and 1 suspect was apprehended for cultivating over 500 kilograms of cannabis. And in Central Province, 3 individuals were arrested in separate incidents involving both cultivation and trafficking, with authorities seizing large quantities of pre-packed and loose cannabis. And further arrests were made in Iteji and Luapula Province, where suspects were found cultivating and trafficking varying amounts of the drug. While in Chelenge district, 2 individuals were jointly charged for trafficking cannabis. And meanwhile, a major operation spanning Chirundu and Kitwe led to the arrest of 1 suspect found transporting over 120 kilograms of cannabis believed to have originated from South Africa. And all suspects are currently in custody awaiting court appearances, with the seized drugs secured as evidence. And finally, DEC has warned that its ongoing enforcement initiative, Operation Kufeza, is intensifying, urging members of the public to support efforts to combat drug-related crimes. Quite an interesting story as well, seeing that the drug enforcement has taken full action into, curbing this vice of drug trafficking. And of course, a lot of young people are getting to take advantage of these drugs and of course abuse them, and we're seeing a high number of crime rates, of course, because some are working just under the influence of these particular drugs. These are drugs that could be, if taken well under proper a proper system, they'll be used as medication, but now we're seeing young people taking advantage and abusing these drugs, and that's like I've already mentioned, that's why we're seeing a number of crime rates getting more and more each day. And
I agree. So even as the peer pressure is there to take the drugs, but remember, the law is present.
It is.
They'll come for you. So even as you think of making the money, do not do it illegally, in as much as it may bring you money, more money, a lot of money. Do not do the illegal stuff. Make money the right way. Indeed.
Of course, peer pressure, like she's already mentioned, where you feel your friends are doing better than you, and now you opt to go this way. Trust me, every time the law is always going to find a way of coming to you and catching you. And so please make sure to follow the right channel and right way of making this money that you want to make, and do not abuse these drugs, please. Young people, stay safe.
They say clean money, Ali Shupa, but it's better than, when the law is looking for you, it's not good. So
Indeed.
let's do the right thing. Remember, you're still watching the Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show right on ICU TV, We go on to our next, but don't forget to leave us your comments in the comment section. Let's get interactive and we'll be able to read out your comments. And now, Permanent Secretary for Technical Services, Dr. Kennedy Lishimpi, has emphasized the importance of preparedness, rapid response, and strengthening Zambia's emergency health systems during his remarks at the Emergency Medical Induction Training Workshop. Dr. Lishimpi highlighted the effective emergency response is critical for saving lives and improving overall health system resilience across the country. I love that he's mentioned preparedness. It's always good to be prepared even when there is nothing. Like, you know, I growing up in the Adventist home, being a Pathfinder, the Pathfinder letters, we have P, that stands for prepare for emergency.
And of course, and you know, especially for the fact that now it's health that we are looking at. A healthy nation is, I mean when we see people in good health, then we know even the economy is going to be better, because if we do not have people, you know, working, generating income, doing all that, then our economy clashes as well. And so it's good that they're taking action in terms of preparing and doing these emergency health systems, which is quite an interesting one. Of course, we go on a short break and we'll be right back with more stories. And a huge thank you to the Information and Communications University for being our major sponsor of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. We're going to break. We'll be right back with more of the details and the stories.
Stay tuned.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance. Qualifications: National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Thank you for still staying with us. You're still watching the Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. In case you just joined us, we've looked at a few headlines and a few stories here, but you're not very late. Thank you for joining us, Eric.
Well, of course, and to continue with our stories and our local stories this morning, well, a family in Chainda is demanding answers following the death of their son after he was detained at Simon Mwansakapwepe police station. And the family alleges they were not informed about his condition while in custody and only learned his death afterward, and raising concerns over the circumstances surrounding the incident. Well, of course, we have our reporter Chipo TK Piri, who brings us more in this report. Let's get to listen.
A family in Chainda, Lusaka is seeking answers following the death of their son Moses, who was detained at Simon Mwansakapwepe police station. The deceased, a wheelbarrow pusher at Chainda Market, reportedly died yesterday after being in police custody. The family says they were not informed of any illness while he was detained and only learned of his death afterward. Police allegedly indicated that he was taken to a hospital where he later died, but the family says this was not communicated to them at the time. They have also accused authorities of refusing to disclose the mortuary where his body has been taken.
Yeah, so for me, I feel like justice has to prevail, and we want justice for our brother. We want to know the cause why the brother has died, and if they are saying he was sick, why wasn't the family informed? Because there's no way they can be keeping somebody who's sick in police custody and then they are not informing the family. So we want to know why he has died, and we want to know why they are refusing to tell the family which mortuary they've deposited him at. So we want justice for our brother. And of course, we also want to seek the police that there's a brother who killed another person here in Chainda. Why are they keeping him at Simon Mwansakwekwe Police? Why can't he go at Central Police? So we want justice for our brother. That's the only thing that we seek for. Thank you so much.
chifukwa pamene vanaenda kupolisa mai vake sembe ya polisi anawauza vazoo veva nanyamula bwanji muntu nompereka ku hospital nozivisa makolo yake ipolisi yapa mwanji tavutika nayo vantu vaswira kufa so chabe apolisi kubva measevenza abapolisi vavo boma itiyanganireka munokomboni watu muchainda vasunga muntu amene anapaya mzake apa pa polisi abeni vantu vakachoka vadandaula atavamenya boma ititandizireko tipemphako tapapata nachazona tifuna apolisi vatiuze chame chapaya uyu muntu apolisi ndiyachiziva ndiyaziva vachilungamo vazona so ise tipemphako mwanji tititandiziweko na boma muno mchainda tavutika mwe vantu tavutika amene wakambati ni majanki futi wapeze kafutina akapokora pamozi wasevenza pamozi manje tizambo nkhala bwanji awe tipemba cha beboma titandizireko mwe vantu mkomboni watu mungu so mwaona papali maliro apa siyazivika kuli bena vili bonse vamene vilipo pano pa nyumba bali bena chochita palibe manje so olomwayambira tilibe apa tizambo nkhala bwanji akapokola amene vaje nchiwa tiletereko vili bonse pano pa maliro kairi ndiyaziva impa ya uja mungu.
The family is calling for transparency and accountability, seeking clarity on circumstances surrounding their son's death. Chipo TK Puri reporting for ICU TV News, Lusaka.
Well, he's welcoming us back then. Are we?
Welcome back, and remember you're still watching the ICU TV breakfast show this lovely Wednesday morning. And of course, a huge thank you once again to our proud sponsors, the Information and Communications University.
And now, a man from Lusaka's Matero Paradise compound accused of burning his cousin Gibson Zulu to death has been found dead. Alan Chibuye had been on the run since the tragic incident on March 8, 2026. The two cousins who lived together in Paradise compound reportedly had a disagreement that escalated, with Alan allegedly tying Gibson's hands and legs before setting him on fire. Gibson later died from his injuries. A family member, Precious Zulu, told Diamond News that Alan was discovered dead on March 23 in Lusaka's Ngombe area. This is quite sad.
Indeed, what is our country, getting into? I do not think we're a Christian nation. I do not want that. I do not even want to call us a Christian nation anymore.
I remember reading something on social media that said Zambia is only a Christian nation when it's about the LGBTQ. But with other things, I think, because this is very inhumane. Imagine your own cousin, because you have a dispute and maybe you failed to resolve it. You reach to the extent of tying both their hands and legs and setting them on fire.
That's quite sad. How do you manage to What runs in the mind? You know, you tie somebody's hands and legs and you set them ablaze. You start a fire to burn them to death, and you're there. And we hear that he was actually discovered dead. The same person that killed the person was also discovered dead.
Yes, so after setting the cousin ablaze, who later died a day after he died of the injuries, days later, the cousin that set is found dead.
So now, because you could we say it was due to regret that he had done it, or maybe it was just a way of running away from the consequences, of course.
Should have been a way of running away from the consequences, because this is very deep.
Quite sad. Please, people, take care of, be a brother's keeper, and whatever you do, make sure to, no matter how you feel about a particular situation, the best thing that you could always do is actually maybe just walk away and continue your journey. At the end of the day, nobody loses.
Take a walk, talk to someone. Don't end up being violent or ending someone's life.
Well, of course, now getting on to our next story. A 52-year-old man, Yota Mungoma of Chimano village in Mambwe district, has died in what police describe as a sudden and unnatural death, with no foul play suspected. He was found unconscious at home by his son on March 23 after returning the previous day from selling pumpkins, and attempts to revive him were unsuccessful, unfortunately. And Eastern Province Police Commissioner Robertson Mwemba confirmed the incident to the Eastern Post, and police noted only a minor bruise on the body, which has now been taken to Mambwe District Hospital mortuary awaiting burial arrangements. Quite another sad reading that a person would just be found. I mean, it's described as a sudden and unnatural death with no foul play suspected, and this is just person they just find laying in a house. You know, quite sad. And of course, you could now get to imagine how the family felt getting to find themselves in this particular situation. You know, where you're going home, hoping to meet a person, and you find them just lying dead and laying unconscious, and at the end of the day, pronounced dead. Quite sad. Very
devastating. So even as we go about our day-to-day lives, let's show love. Let's tell the people we love that we love them. Let's live happily and enjoy the moments.
Also remember to check up on one another. I feel
it's important.
Madam Tambo, that once you step out of this office, it's not that now we're done, we're not going to talk the whole entire day. Imagine you step out or go somewhere and only waiting to see you back after you get back. I think that's not so cool. Even when you're home, we were together at work, but even when you're home, at least you should take time to just hear how are you doing, how's it going. Yeah, of course you're home, but how's the weather there? I think that's going to be better. At least we will know how we are all faring as that's what we call humanity.
Remember, you're still watching us live on ICU TV. This is the Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. Let's get interactive in the comment section. Give us your views, your comments on the stories that are being discussed, and we will be able to read your comments in the comment section. We go on a break, and coming up after the break, what's trending on social media.
The Information and Communications University is complementing government effort in promoting legal and safe mining for all Zambians. ICU is offering a short practical training course to artisanal and small-scale miners and those who intend to venture into mining. This training covers identification of rocks and minerals, mining operations and equipment, health and safety in mining, environmental protection, licensing and compliance, qualification.
I'm done reading the
National Registration Card NRC. Apply now at www.icuzambia.net. For more information, contact the ICU School of Mines, Department of Artisanal and Small-Scale Mining at +260 763 302 596 or +260 973 263 492. For analysis of mineral samples, contact the ICU School of Mines Laboratory at +260 973 263 492 or +260 977 833 434.
Well, welcome back, and you are still watching the ICU TV Breakfast Show this lovely morning. And of course, even as we get to the next story, of course, this is the What's Trending segment. But first of all, just like to say a huge shout out to Uncle P Pro, who's just commented on our platform saying ICU ni last. Of course, please, thank you so much for the support, and just continue bringing out the comments and sharing what you feel about the stories that we're sharing. And just in case you want to bring out a shout out to any person out there, you are free to do so, and we will read it out at a certain time.
And now on What's Trending on social media, Zambian musician Chico Mwenyamumba, popularly known as Chico Wise, has died following complications from a heart condition. The Zambia Association of Musicians confirmed that he passed away in the early hours of March 24th, 2026 at University Teaching Hospital in Lusaka after being rushed there in critical condition. His death comes weeks after the passing of Charlie Bravo, deepening mourning in the country's music industry. Let's listen to one of his songs done by him and Afunika.
Well, of course, well, that's quite a sad. It's quite a sad, you know, situation to lose such a huge giant. This is a person that most of the people, especially back in the day, used to listen to his work. People, even up to now, of course, you see the impact that he leaves behind, even after his demise, and it is quite sad. With everybody, of course, the entire country is with the family. A huge condolences, and may his soul well rest in eternal peace. And of course, now getting on to our next story on the trending stories. Well, a concerned Lusaka resident has raised alarm over a growing shortage of affordable accommodation and the rise of unsafe, overcrowded boarding houses for students. And the letter warns that landlords are converting family homes into high-density student housing, displacing families and exposing students to security risks, including theft and attacks. And of course, the writer has called on authorities and learning institutions to regulate boarding houses, enforce safety standards, and ensure students have access to secure accommodation. I feel, well, it's a genuine concern because, of course, if we have boarding houses having a number of students in one place, and of course, in certain particular areas, I'm not going to mention certain areas, that certain institutions you find
that are very unsafe.
Yeah, you find that there's people that may not care, especially looking at the fact that these are young people. So some people may want to take advantage of the situation, and of course, just want to gain from these particular areas. And that's why it's very important for even when planning these particular, these settlements and all, let's understand that security is very important. That's the reason why sometimes you're hearing a number of cases of maybe students getting murdered in certain institutions and all. I feel this just could also be a reason, because if we have a number of students being packed, I think it's also just an extent a bit unhealthy.
It is. And on the homeowner side, you may be looking at it on a point of making money, because students who obviously want to live in a private house, maybe away from the boarding houses, because some boarding houses are very crowded, so they want to live somewhere private. But also remember, their security comes first. So even as you rent out your homes or your houses to the students, ensure that security is at its peak, because these are lives at risk.
Of course. And now getting on to our next trending story. This is something that has brought about mixed emotions. It's both on the funny side and, to some extent brings out a lesson. And this is a wife who beats up her husband because of unpaid bills.
Ladies!
I feel for the man, and it's quite a funny one. But I had to watch the video like a couple of times. But anyway, let me not
before
say,
we allow our viewers to watch this video, let's hear your views in the comment section, because this is a man who hasn't paid the bills, and I'm sure it's not the first time. This is something that has been going on for some time, because I know one will not be triggered if something happens once, but if it's it's a recurring thing, it's going to be some. So the wife decides to take things in her own hands. So let's take a look at the video.
We really apologize for that little technical glitch, and now we have the video. So if we just take a quick look at it and give us what you think right after it.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro. It's me telling you. The police. It's me telling you, bro. Hey, come on. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. Hey, keep talking to you. Listen to me. Listen to me. You don't listen to me. Once the beginning. Yes, where's the bigger? What's that? Unapigana mwenye baa na kuaje? Imalo. Wakati yeye anaambiwa.
Quite an interesting story. Husbands, please, please, in whatever you do, make sure you provide at home. And it is alleged that this man was taking most of his money in clubs and all, yet at home he wasn't providing and wasn't paying bills. Yet he was a top G when it comes to if it's in Zambia.
The clubs,
yeah,
in
of
the
course.
bars.
This is not in Zambia, but of course when you come, they say. I wanted to start mentioning names of places, but
no, we leave it there. But men, let's be the providers that we ought to be. And I think this woman's actions are very justifiable. Like, imagine the man is not providing at home, but when you're going to he's setting the black tables and buying the most expensive wines, yes, like very justifiable.
He's the owner of the club.
He's the buyer, big buyer.
The big buyer they call.
Yes.
Well, please do take us to the next trendy story that we have this morning.
And now a video circulating on social media shows traps of steel nails on the Ndola, I beg your pardon, on the Ndola dual carriageway allegedly set by thieves to trap vehicles in the highway. Let's take a look at the video.
So guys, this is Kitwe Njwe, Kitwe Ndola dual carriageway. This is what thieves are doing. This is in the first lane. These are nails. So when you're overtaking in the first lane, they put these on the road. You go over them, we just missed them and drove back. This is Copperstone. We're coming from Ndola. This is around 23. Yes, of course, if somewhere, Muno. So be very, very careful, guys.
This is quite not cool that now in a process of stealing now you do not care, and it's okay if somebody lost their life in the process, and that's how people are thinking. Zambia has just become something.
They are advancing, so let's ensure to be road smart and be very alert on the road. Because in Eastern Province, we had a case where they're just throwing stones, or they'll just
in the windscreen.
Yes, they'll just bring up something to distract you. So if you're driving late at night, no matter how urgent it looks or how it seems, it may need your urgent help. Please just move.
Please,
for your own safety.
Yeah.
Focus on your destination. Do not mind what's on the road or who's on the road, because you don't know what intentions the people have, especially if you're driving very late at night and on the highway, a very long stretch. Be ensure to have your doors locked, your windows up, so that you are safe, because the crime rates and how they are progressing to do their things are increasing.
Indeed, I think that the best advice would also maybe just give to our motorists is, if possible, avoid driving late at night, because this is when people are taking advantage. They know that we are more vulnerable at night, and the best, if of course there's it could be an emergency, you just need to get to the place where you want to go to at a good time, but if it is possible, please do just avoid traveling or moving at night, especially these long distances you find in a bushy area. People are no longer more any considerate and all, and that's the reason why it would be best to take safe measures than actually heal the wound, I would say. And now finally, on our trending segment, in our trending stories, well, we get to see the story of Grace Njapau, who has been arrested in Mwinilunga after allegedly disguising herself, including cutting her hair, in a bid to evade capture following her suspected involvement in the mob killing of Annalise Ellen Kamutumbe in Kalumbila district. Quite no, I shouldn't say sad reading on the part that they were excited and or to murder this woman, Ellen. And it is quite interesting and amazing that now she has been apprehended and is in police custody. I think with a huge kudos to the law enforcers, that is the police. Quite amazing news to hear.
And in case, to our viewers, in case you're wondering who Grace Japao is, in the trending videos and photos that are circulating on social media, she's the girl, the lady that was dressed in the zebra dress that's now making rounds on social media. And some are making jokes out of it to say if she comes to a date wearing a zebra dress, as in run.
That's it's not safe. And of course, we also further on I mean, in relation to this particular capture of Grace, we also see the sister taking it to social media, trying to plead on her behalf, and you see a number of comments, people not so
taking
cool.
it lightly at all.
Not so cool with it. And I feel for the fact that she was saying this girl is young, but while doing that particular act, could we say this is a young person that was doing this? This is an adult, we should say, and she knew quite well what she was doing, and the police taking this action, I think, is actually a good stand, and it will be a lesson to obviously other young people in the case that they find themselves in this particular situation. And of course, just in case you're joining us, you're watching the ICU TV breakfast show, and just in case you want to call us in, the number to call us on is 0574, that is 555 470, 0574 555 470. While we take a short break, and coming right up is the sports segment. Do stay glued.
Ow. Thank you for still staying with us. Remember, you're still watching the ICU TV Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show right here on ICU TV. And now in our sports segment, Chipolopolo striker Patson Daka has arrived in the country ahead of the team's departure to Buenos Aires for an international friendly. Daka touched down alongside Egypt-based duo Pascal Piri and David Simukonda, with the trio received by the team manager Charles Kalala. All three players have since linked up with the squad in Lusaka as preparations intensify. Chipolopolo are set to face world champions Argentina national football team in an international friendly scheduled for March 31st, 2026.
Yeah, I think it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for all of us, not only for the players but also for the nation. I think this is not just an ordinary game. We know how important this game is and how much it's going to help us to develop as a team, as a nation, as people. And we're just hoping that this opportunity is going to open many doors, not only for us players but also for the nation at large as well. So we know how difficult this game is going to be, but we're going to do our very best to just do the best that we can to make sure that we don't regret anything at the end of the game. Football is the same everywhere, and we respect them, but we know that we just have to learn. We have to do our best, and that's the only thing that we can do, because at the end of the day, like, it's what you have as a team, as a group, and what you believe in. So I think we believe in ourselves, and we know that, like I said earlier, it's going to be tough, but
well, this is going to be quite an interesting game, and of course it's gotten a lot of reactions, a lot of people talking about it all over social media, and the only thing that we could say right now is all the best to the Chipolopolo team, and we hope they nail it and just prove that we are still around, we are still here as Zambia. And of course, this is where we get to almost a close of our breakfast show this morning, but we're going to short break as we get back to say our goodbyes. Do stay good.
For the sky, and I see you. Together we will rise. With knowledge and passion we aim to achieve a future so bright, with more to believe. We're building
are the best graduating students, masters in the School of Humanities.
won't be denied. From Lusaka to the world we stand tall and strong.
Hi, I'm Genea Moyo, and I am ICU.
We're rising high with education.
Thank you so much for still staying tuned. Remember, you've been watching the ICU TV Breakfast Show live on ICU TV. You can follow us on our Facebook, that's ICU TV, and YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, ICU TV Zambia.
Well, of course, and also for more stories, you can catch us on ICUTVZM.com. Well, I've been your host this morning on the Wednesday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. Maluba Eric J. Mwanamjende, and for now, well, a huge thank you to our transmission crew, Madam, and especially on the transmission desk, that's Madam Nirongo Ruth, and also our producer, Mr. Mishek Edgars Mfune. We really do appreciate you for the amazing script. Of course, it gave us a smooth flow. Quite an amazing job he's doing right there in terms of our script writing and producing. A huge thank you to you.
And to our amazing audience, a huge thank you to you. Do stay tuned and watch us on Friday for the Friday edition of the ICU TV Breakfast Show. I have been your host, Amina Mtambo. A lovely day to you all.